I haven't flown this thing yet.
I've never done this map before, so.
Banshee. Oh, shit, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. Oh, they're going for the flag. Going for the flag. Oh, I splattered him. Holy shit. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I had a random thought the other day. I can't remember it, though. I wonder why that is.
Probably because it was just RNG generated.
Probably, because I have random thoughts that enter my head all the time, and I'm just like, that's interesting. And then, like, I really wonder oh, hey, what's that over there? And then just, it's gone. The very moment I thought of it, it's gone. My brain cannot recall it for the life of me, unless I write it down. That's where I'm at right now in terms of my memory and in terms of just my, I guess my neuroplasticity, like able to recall things. My immediate memory is garbage. Heck, and my long-term memory is garbage too.
As a kid, I used to have a lot more random thoughts. And I know one of the things was like I would just like spout my thoughts out loud to my mom all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, it took my mom being like really annoyed and on edge one day for some reason, and me just talking about a Mario game that I was playing and things about it and stuff and thoughts I had about it, that she just ended up going off and being like, I really don't care about this Mario game that you're talking about. And like I think that kind of like stuck with me, and not to mention a lot of people just acting uninterested in things I would talk about. And I got to the point where like I was learning about like self-monitoring and stuff in school and sort of just started suppressing all my random thoughts. And it's like I don't really open my mouth now unless I have something that I think will actually be interesting to say, hopefully.
I remember
it's made me a very quiet person.
I remember I forget all the time, like about stuff, but my dad, in just a moment, thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna ask my son what's going through his head right now. Me at 10 years old. Basically, he asked that, and then after about a few minutes, he was like, all right, son, all right, I'm sorry I asked. No, really. And it wasn't like an insulting thing or anything like that. My dad was just, I don't think he was prepared for the amount of information that was just pumping through my head. Because I literally was just like, why in the heck did they color that sign blue? If they would have colored it yellow or red, it would have stood out a whole lot more. Oh, what about that over there? Yeah, why is that guy's like license plate have that little sticker on it when no one else's does? It makes no sense to me. Oh, also that over there. Why is that? And eventually my dad was like, okay, stop. And
so, you see, these words that I'm saying right now are coming through my mind as I say them, basically.
Yes.
My brain is so ADD that everything that you were just talking about, I had to concentrate on to grasp what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, if you had have asked me, what are you thinking randomly right now while you were talking, I would have been like, I'm absolutely just focusing on exactly what you're saying right now. And like I had the first couple of words formed for my response to that, and it didn't even come out the way that I had formed it ahead of time. Like, by the time I started talking, it changed slightly. Like, that's how bad the processing power of my brain on, like, multitasking any kind of thoughts is.
You want to know also random thoughts that popped in my head when I was a kid? The concept of words and like the visual representation they had in my head, you know, I heard words for the first time, and I attributed something to them that was completely not, like, had nothing to do with it. For instance, whenever I was younger and I heard someone say fourth, whenever I heard someone say, like, fourth, you know, like, fourth grade, because my sister was in fourth grade, and I think I was, like, kindergarten or first grade, and I remember someone said fourth, and immediately the thought that popped into my head was someone getting a gigantic wad of toilet paper and stuffing it into the green light of like the red light, like the stoplights at an intersection. I have no idea why my brain thought of that. That's just what my brain attributed whenever I heard the word fourth. And when I heard fifth, you know what my brain attributed then? My brain attributed a piece of bacon sliding under a door. Why? I have no idea. I like these random thoughts that just pop in my head. I'm just like, why?
That is very odd.
No, I know.
Mine don't work like that at all.
I don't know why my brain thought of those random things, but I was just like...
when you said fourth for me, like my brain at most will flash written out like 4th, like, like for an image to attribute with it, or like... occasionally if I think deeper into it, fourth, like I think of like the fourth person standing in a row of people or something like that.
Keep in mind, this is me when I was in like kindergarten or first grade. This is right when my brain was really starting to formulate to where I could like cohesively remember things in terms of short-term memory. It was right when I started my education. I remember my first day of kindergarten. The one thing about kindergarten is when everyone starts kindergarten, everyone hates it when their parents leave and the kids start crying.
Yeah, that's that when I started kindergarten.
I remember that too. I remember everyone in the classroom cried except for me and like 2 or 3 others. Like eventually we were just like, why is everyone else crying?
My teacher took me over to one kid in the class that was like playing with blocks by himself, and his name was Brandon, and was basically like, you want to play with Brandon? And I'm like, if he wants to. And I was like, you want to play? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So that was like my first friend I made in school was Brandon, and ended up staying friends with him through middle school and stuff because we both played video games. I remember he was one of the people that I played and talked about Ocarina of Time with when it came out a lot. Mm-hmm. Like him and my buddy Andrew from church. Different Andrew than the one that's been on the channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, the first friend I remember ever having was Aaron Jones, who, pastor's son, very, very nice, but he expected to be the lead in everything. That was the thing. Like, whenever we were playing, like, I think he said, I want to be the hero this time. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I want to be the cop this time. Oh, okay. And anytime someone else spoke up about it, he didn't want to play anymore. He would just sit over to the side and just like watch everyone else play. And then whenever the chance to come up to pick again, he would never want to be the bad guy. And I don't know. I guess his attribution was like the bad guy always loses and he didn't want to lose. I don't know. But either way, yeah. So,
speaking of random thoughts, if you're new to the Renegade Media Group, congratulations. You've just been introduced to the format of our videos, which basically is random thoughts.
Rambling. We ramble a lot at the beginning of these videos. And the reason why we are talking about random thoughts is that we are going to be watching a Jaden Animations video, which, a little bit of a special note when it comes to this creator in particular. We are going to be up in Cleveland, Ohio, and we are going to be at the Scribble Showdown, which, if you all have not bought tickets for that, buy them right now. What are you doing? Go to scribbleshowdown.com and buy the tickets, and you'll be able to see Jaden, James from Odd Ones Out.
At least if they're not sold out already.
I checked. There's still, like, regular, admission available. Also, Aaron and Ross. Aaron, who's still with Game Grumps, and Ross, who's on his own now, and then Emerichu. Dude, come on. You got 5 of the greatest YouTube animators / illustrators of all time on a stage having fun. And
I'm hella anxious about possibly meeting them.
Well, and that's the thing. Originally we were going to try and go to the Washington, D.C. show, but things fell through because of...
We got like a third of the way there, and we're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, traffic basically ground to a halt.
Get there in time.
And I looked, and there were no side roads that would have shortened our trip or anything like that.
We actually took side roads.
We did,
shorten the trip, but they only got us so far before we were back stuck in traffic again.
Yeah, and by the time we tried to get on the road as soon as we could, but even when we got on the road as soon as we could, we realized that the show would be over by the time we got there. So we just decided to turn around and head back. But the thing is, when we signed up to get the tickets, or we didn't actually sign up to get the tickets, we were contacted by someone who basically was just like, hey, you want tickets? It's someone that Jaden knows very well. Can't really say his name on here. I refuse to give... I'm not a doxer. I'm not one of those jerks. So yeah, we were contacted by someone who is very close with Jaden and just wanted to see if we wanted tickets. It was like, sure thing. Right. Wink. I was just like, yeah, this is obviously a scam. Obviously. And then
he starts looking at it. He's like, yes, it was like this. And I was like, that's Jaden. And he's like, are you shitting me?
And I looked, and then all of a sudden I was like, is this for real, man? And then I did some more research. I looked, and I was like, holy crap, it's the real thing. Hey, man, sorry about that. And then, things are being worked out, but needless to say, I'm happy. I'm very happy that we were able to make that connection, and just want to say, can't say your name on here, but big thanks to you, my friend. He says he watches all of our reactions to Jaden. So I guess he's a fan. I couldn't have figured how. Thanks for being a fan, man. As always, thank you. So anyway, random thoughts.
Also, one other disclaimer is, like I said, I've watched almost all of her videos, so I might have seen this one before, but it's been long enough that a refresher is, merited. So
yeah, I guess we'll see. Anyway, here we go.
Let's start off being honest right off the bat. I have no idea what this video is. I just had a random idea in my head. What if I tried to make a video that has literally no point to it? So here we are. Over the course of like a month or two, I started jotting down some of the random things that have crossed my brain and stuff along that line. Not the kind that are philosophical or have a deeper meaning, just the stupid ones. This video might change the way you view me as a person. Whatever. Nah. I don't care. Let's get started. I was going through my phone contacts the other week, and I was like, you know what? I want to get rid of the people I don't really need to have in here. Some contact spring cleaning. So I started deleting people I've never talked to, and the further in I got, the more I was thinking, who are these people? Where'd they even come from? Jacob Acorn. I've never met a Jacob Acorn before. The frick? And then there'd be people where I only added their first name. Ashley, I'm assuming Newberry? Yeah, delete. I don't talk to her. Ooh, wait, wrong Ashley. Well, I accidentally just permanently erased some other Ashley from my life. Also,
you Thanos snapped her out of existence.
Made me realize I have way
or
less...
he. I met a dude named Ashley before. I mean, hell, Ash Williams. Ashley J. Williams.
Ashley J. Williams.
Aha.
That's exactly what I thought when you said that.
Friends than I thought I did.
I
didn't have too many to begin with, but I deleted a lot more people than I thought I would, and my contact list is far smaller than it was before. What if dogs were the humans of the earth? Like, instead of a human society, it was dogs. What would they create? Would they build a government? What would their education system be? Would they create dog hobbies and dog sports?
Where
I'm not talking about the typical
Summer?
Throwing frisbees and tennis.
Say what?
So where are my testicles, Summer? This immediately makes me think of that Rick and Morty episode.
It's like, where are my testicles, Summer?
Oh, that's a difficult question there, Summer.
Like, oh God. Bad human. Bad human.
Balls. Maybe they'd create a game where they wear face harnesses with a scoop that can hold a ball, and they have to toss the ball into a hole on opposite sides of the court, each hole providing a different amount of points depending on its difficulty. Kind of like soccer or football combined with basketball. And there's teams, so they need to strategize and work together to win against the other dogs. Would they create art and music and invent things? Do they have passions that we couldn't think of? Like, if humans were just a wild animal, it would be much harder for us to realize that, say, playing a saxophone was your passion, because wild animals can't invent saxophones, silly. So you'd never discover that side of yourself. But what if dogs could discover their passions and creative sides like humans? I'd want to go to a dog art museum and see what kind of art they'd make. Aren't you curious? If dogs had the intelligence and creativity of humans, what would they do with it? Could they run Earth better than we are? In a weird way, I'd kind of hope so. In horror movies, why is it always the piano that's the haunted, pretentious, scary instrument? I've seen the scenarios where pianos play themselves, the keys are smashed down to make a really ugly sound, maybe the occasional lid will slam down and kill someone. Is it because people see them as elegant yet ominous at the same time, setting up a good atmosphere? I want to watch a horror movie where instead of walking into a big empty
Maybe it's
room
just
with a
what's the
haunted
biggest
grand piano.
instrument you can think of.
Well, I would
So
say
that if it was weaponized, it would be dangerous.
I would also say it's probably one of the more dexterous instruments out there in terms of the amount of emotions it can portray. Because you can't really, like, portray very many emotions on a bassoon. Bassoons are very, like...
It depends on what key you play in and how you play it.
Well, honestly, for me, pianos where there's such a broad length of notes to play on, 88 keys of awesome, basically. You can just, like, pluck any note or any like, hit any chord you want to, and you're just like, let's try that in the minor scale. Ooh, creepy. And I guess it's probably just because it's the most dexterous, and also a lot of composers prefer the piano for composition, for the entire piece.
It's also something you can sit while you play and have your music right in front of you easily, and write easily. Set a pencil down on top of it, pick it back up.
I wonder if Jaden's having this.
Whereas, like, you got a fucking tuba in your hands, and then you're having to be like, "Fuck, where'd my pencil go?"
That's another one.
Like,
That's another one, dude.
Like,
That's another one, dude. Tuba. You can't really portray very many emotions with a tuba. I mean, and honestly, I wonder if the reason why Jaden's thinking this and wants a horror movie to where a piano is not the main thing is because she herself is a piano player and is just sick and tired. She's like, why is the piano always the bad guy?
In the stigma of pianos being evil.
Yes. That's a protest I can get behind.
There's even a piano boss in Luigi's Mansion 3, like the most recent thing I can think of. Like,
there was one in the first one. Or did you say 3?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. There was one in the first one. Pianissimo. I forget her name, but she was you basically had to make her mess up in order to make it to where you could attack her. Yeah.
In the center, a character walks into a big empty room and sees a ghost playing.
The automaton, hell yeah.
I'd be much more engaged in a movie like that. Just saying. Why does nobody talk about half-popped popcorn kernels? They're just as good as the full-popped ones. After you've consumed 97% of your popcorn, you get to the kernels at the bottom, and instead of throwing them all away, you should crunch on the ones that are semi-popped.
I do that! I actually do that myself.
I don't eat popcorn because it gets stuck in my tonsils.
That's right, yeah.
Pits in my tonsils.
Nick can't because of tonsil issues.
I mean, I can. It's just highly obnoxious to have a popcorn flake stuck in your tonsils for 3 days.
I get that.
And, like, no amount of gargling or anything gets out. Like, I found out the one trick that can help to get it out is if I use the shower nozzle and turn it on, like, the fucking high-powered. Just, like fucking, like, spray down the back of my throat. That's worked a couple times.
Oh,
it happens with lettuce sometimes too when I eat salads, and that's why that's one of the main reasons I hate salads, besides the salads just being kind of bland half the time.
For me, it's when a kernel gets caught in like one of the back teeth back here, where you can't really get at it with your tongue, and you have trouble with your thumb or your.
That doesn't bother me as much because I can't really feel that as much.
Well, for me, I can't help it because my tongue's very wide, it like hits the sides of my teeth. I'm just like. That's a kernel there.
Imagine walking around for 3 days constantly feeling like you need to be like like it's fucking god awful.
Yeah,
so I just stopped eating popcorn. It wasn't worth it.
I'm sorry.
Heck! If you don't eat the half-popped kernels, you're missing out on some of the best things in life. One time I was at the grocery store getting groceries.
Groceries.
Yeah, great script right in there, Jaden. That was poetic. And at the checkout, I could tell the cashier was new at her job. Not like she was doing everything wrong, but you could see she didn't have the fluid motion down of a professional grocery store scanner. Those people have it down like it's an art form. It's beautiful in a strange way. So she was scanning the things, and she got to the cilantro. You probably know this, but you can't just put a barcode sticker on cilantro. I think some stores will wrap a tag around it, but the place I was at just had a serial code that the cashier had to manually punch in. So the girl was flipping through the book that had all the serial codes in it, and she couldn't find the cilantro code. I've never mentally connected so much with a stranger before, because I knew exactly what was going on in her head. She was trying to quickly find the code because she didn't want to feel like she was taking up time by being slow, but in the stress of trying to quickly find the cilantro, her brain was getting frantic, which made her gradually start internally freaking out even more because she felt like she was taking way too much time trying to find the code, repeat cycle getting more and more intense every time, and maybe after a minute of her trying to find the code, she just silently put the cilantro in the bag. She gave me free cilantro.
Well, there was an assistant manager standing by just like, if you don't know the code, just ask for help. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to dock your pay on that. Come on, man.
That's what I would say. I'd just be like, just take it out of my
freaking cilantro. It's not like it's friggin' a 20. It's like a 12-pack of Monsters she's giving away.
It's like, congratulations, you get free cilantro today.
Yeah, free like $1.50 worth of cilantro. Here you go. Congratulations. Plus, I like cilantro. Cilantro I use in several of my dishes.
Go out of panic. It was a good day. Also, did you know there's a website dedicated to hating cilantro? www.ihatecilantro.com. They write haikus.
Damn.
Stressing about a close deadline is kind of relaxing in a sociopathic kind of way. We've all done it. You procrastinated a bunch on a project and are in the phase of crap because it's due tomorrow and it's already 10:45 p.m. and you've only got like 0% done. But if you think about it, it's kind of nice to see it as, well, I'm totally stressed and panicked out of my mind right now and would rather just self-implode. But this feeling is only gonna last for a few more hours since the deadline's so close. If you didn't wait until the last minute, it would have been a less intense but drawn out feeling of dread while working, versus this approach, which even though is 10 times more mentally and emotionally draining and likely very bad for your health, only has to last for like one day, maybe even 12 hours if you really push it, so pick your battles. But don't say I told you which one to choose. I'm not responsible for any crummy projects you haphazardly spit out.
Dude, like, I worked, like, I should have been working on it probably sooner, but I worked for like 3 days straight on my final project for vector-based imaging.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah, go ahead.
And you were supposed to bring in 2 portraits of 2 people that you knew, like just friends or acquaintances. Basically, they wanted you to get a picture of them and then do a recreation of it in Illustrator. So I put so much time and detail into my one portrait that it was deadline time and I only had the one done. So I went and turned it in and I was just like, I'm really, really sorry. Like, I literally spent all of the time we were allotted on this one. And so I didn't get 2. And somehow my professor was like, well, I told you all at the beginning of this class that I wanted to see a mastery of the pen tool in Illustrator by the time you were done with this class. Mm-hmm. And this portrait, apparently it was like the best one that was turned in. Yeah. Like, he was like, it demonstrates such a mastery of the pen tool that I'm going to give you an A on the project anyways. And I was just like, fuck yeah! Yeah! Woo! So, procrastinating and doing everything last minute doesn't always...
Not always.
Like, screw you over, but I still don't really recommend it.
Yeah. Well... Because
I probably could have done less work on 2 and...
Still got an A, but yeah. I mean... Procrastination.
But like that recreation,
I'm
like if you zoom out, like it looks like the damn original photo, like from a distance. You can't tell the difference if you see them from a distance.
Yeah, procrastination was one thing I had to overcome in order to get into the career that I have now, and it took a long time. It took until I was about 25 because I was just like, what's the point of me even trying to do anything? And then eventually I was just like, it just clicked. I was just like, you are literally wasting your life away. Why are you procrastinating life? Don't do that. And I was like, okay. And then here I am. 7 years on, and I'm still going strong.
But still you. My parents' house had really big windows in the living room, and sometimes birds would fly into them. Most often hummingbirds. Whenever one did, I would go outside to where it landed, and if it didn't die from slamming headfirst into a window, I would pick it up and help it calm down and recover from being stunned. A lot of people...
Never did that, but I did have a few birds fly into the big bay windows that my parents had at our house. The second house I ever lived in when we moved out of the holler. And that scared the hell out of me the first time because I was sitting up there, I was playing video games, all of a sudden I hear thump. What the hell? And all of a sudden I hear flap, 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 and it fly, I hear the bird fly away. I'm like, huh. There you go.
I've only ever been around when a bird smacked the window one time, and it was in my room at the mansion. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah, went thump into my window, and I was like, the fuck was that?
People would probably say not to do that because it's a wild bird that can have wild bird diseases. And they're probably right. But imagine if you did that with humans. Some kid is outside running around. They blindly run right into a tree and collapse on the ground. You run over to help them, and when you get to them, you go, sorry, kid, you've got a cold. Can't help you out, buddy. Also,
in 2020, post 2020,
one even fluttered around me when it recovered. I'm a bird master. Like I said in the beginning, I was jotting all these down over a relatively long period of time, so I didn't just write all these in one go. And after looking at the list I made, I realized I wrote half-popped popcorn 2 separate times at different occasions.
Oh my gosh.
I guess past Jaden just felt extremely compelled to talk about half-popped popcorn. It is really good though. Why do kids on the internet feel the need to tell their age so frequently? You see it all the time. I'm 13. I'm 6. I'm 2. Is there a reason they do it? Do they think it's vital information they need to convey? Whenever I see a comment that starts...
I don't like telling my age because it outs me as an old man. 33, by the way. Oh, God.
With I'm 9 and my brain kind of automatically...
Wait.
To convey.
I think I saw
Whenever I see
a
comment that's...
Oh, I saw... Okay, PewDiePie. PewDiePie. Huh. I'm 9. I think your videos are kind of not good. No offense, but I thicken... You need to make drawings move more and do drawings, sorry, and backgrounds and shading like Disney and Pixar, because those are good. Also, why don't you upload more? I hate waiting for you to upload a new video. No offense, because PewDiePie uploads every day, so I just think you should make more videos. Also, can you draw me or make me a channel banner, because I want to make YouTube videos soon. I don't have any money though. Also, can I have a shout out? Thanks. XX Ignorant Child 2013 XX.
It's obviously a fake comment.
Obviously, but at the same time, not that far from...
Sadly accurate.
From certain comments that we've ran into. We upload every day. We upload, as a matter of fact, multiple times a day. And here's the thing. Our line of work, our way of doing videos is very easy. It's reaction-based content like with what Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, and Markiplier and all of them do. It's very easy because daily uploads, whenever you're doing content like that, doesn't take as much time, and it's usually a 1 to 2 person thing. Whereas Jaden's videos are, I forget how many different animators that she has working with her now, but even then, with all of the team,
back when she first started, I'm pretty sure it was just her. So.
Oh yeah, back when she first started, it was just her. But even with the amount of team, and people she has working with her now, not just on the main drawings or in between animations or the coloring or the cleanup or everything else that's in between, it still takes time to put out videos like this, especially of the quality that Jaden wants to provide. I mean, it's ignorant, very much pun intended, to assume, and of course, ignorance, and because he's 9 years old. I mean, a lot of people out there don't understand like the difference between making YouTube videos like what we do and like what Jaden does. There are some that do, and there are some that go way too far and tell us to basically kill ourselves, hang ourselves, slit our wrists, basically all of the horrible things that you can imagine on the internet, and all because we don't make the kind of videos that they like. I mean, people are very choosy on the internet. Probably gonna have to censor all that because, YouTube doesn't like it whenever you mention stuff like that.
That's why I continue to live as spite for those people.
Yes. I will live just to spite you. I will make it to 112 out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
Starts with, I'm 9, and my brain kind of automatically writes off whatever they're about to complain about. I'm not saying people these ages don't say anything valuable to me. I really enjoy
Sometimes
seeing, I'm 6 and really liked your video. Because
Bingo.
then it feels like that message was written with full child pureness. You know the kind. They're still innocent beings that haven't experienced the cruelness of reality yet. But any other time, it's just a detail that adds nothing else to their statement. One time I got an email that said, I love your vids, I'm 7. So I responded with, thanks. I'm 19. Do they feel like they're obligated to express their age? Do they think they're asserting dominance? Is it an accomplishment to them? More mysteries I have yet to find out.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I won't lie. This is definitely... No, this video was really fun to make. It was so different and experimental and all over the place. I don't know, I just had so much fun making it. I was thinking about doing a video like this for a while, just like little random topics that aren't enough to make an entire video about. I haven't seen anyone else do this kind of thing before either. I could be wrong. Maybe there's like hundreds of people who already made videos like this before and I'm not being creative at all. If so, then... okay, whatever. Again, it was pretty experimental and just... I don't know, I kind of like the chaos and unpredictability of it. If you liked this format, I'd totally be down to make another one sometime. But if you're like, wow, this was the suckiest video that ever sucked, then I probably won't make another. That wouldn't be a smart move on my part. Well, I had fun. And that's all that matters. Yeah. Also, see you at VidCon.
Yeah.
Everybody's fan art of her is always so cute.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, again, Jaden has another Random Thoughts video, which we may react to at another date. But yeah, that one was awesome. Jaden's like random thoughts just coming up to the top.
I have seen that before, but it's been quite some time, obviously, because I didn't remember it until the writing half pop popcorn twice. That I was like, oh yeah, I have seen this one before.
Well, yeah, I mean the half pop popcorn, dude.
It's that part. I was that. Just like that unlocked it, and I was like, yes, I have seen this before. I remember writing half pop popcorn twice.
I remember when my parents used to make popcorn for movie nights back in the day, and we used to just sit down and watch Disney movies or whatever, and you pass the bowl around and everyone would get their fair share. I'd get a few handfuls here and there, but then the bowl would get back to me and it'd be nothing but like pieces and kernels and half pop pieces in the bottom, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just make the best of this. And then just scoop out what's left in the bottom. I split out the kernels and it's like, okay, these are unpopped. These are partially popped. Okay. Not bad. And basically, I got called a weirdo by my sister for chewing on the half-popped kernels. My sister, was just like, ew, why are you doing that? It's like, it's good. My dad didn't mind it. My dad had some bad habits. My dad used to spit all the time. It was a bad habit that he developed. He doesn't do it anymore. And it's not like he dipped or anything like that. He didn't even chew tobacco. He just spit. And it was just a habit for him. And eventually he got out of it, but I've typically found that if your parents have bad habits, you can either inherit them or develop bad habits yourself. It's a mental thing. And, you know, of course there's, you know, forming good habits, which...
I never noticed my parents having any bad habits, but I had all kinds of them throughout the years.
Well, maybe your parents had them and just got rid of them.
Not really bad, but just stuff that became habitual. Like, for example, like I used to pop my neck like all the time over to the side, like in middle school. Mm-hmm. And I remember people behind me made fun of that. Like it was like me doing that and like me also like popping my shoulder on the right side since my joint on my right side is kind of loose. And so like anytime I rotate it like backwards, it'll pop a little bit. And people were making fun of me and they're like, you're just making that up for attention. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking not. Like I do that because it feels comfortable after I do that, and it feels uncomfortable after a while if I don't do that. And I eventually had to just like stop myself because I realized it was a habit. And the only comfort I was really getting was like a mental comfort from it, you know?
I popped my neck one time, and there was a guy who was just like, huh, hey, Hamilton, did you break your neck there? Huh. And I'm like, you want me to break yours? He didn't respond. But, you know, people are going to be dinguses about stuff. Let's see, there was also...
Now my habits are mostly verbal habits that I'm still trying to work on. Such as not saying like in between stuff.
Opposite sides of the court.
Yeah. I'm looking here. I was going to mention something, a random thought that I had while looking at this, you know, about hybridizing sports and, you know, incorporating different stuff. Like, it's like the rules of baseball, but the scoring patterns of baseball or something like that.
You said baseball twice.
Huh?
You said baseball twice.
The scoring patterns of basketball, but more like baseball. I thought I said basketball. Sorry. My friends and I invented a game called Dodge Basketball. Dodge Basketball basically is, you know, you get these little foam balls that don't hurt you when they hit you or anything like that. And your job is to, your one half of the court goes to one team, one half of the court goes to the other. You can the way to win the game is, there's two ways. Number one is you hit your opponents and knock them out like regular dodgeball, or you try and throw it into the basketball goal, and if it makes it into the basketball goal, then basically your team gets a point. Your team scores one, and then the game begins again. And the main objective of the game, this was back when we were like third grade to fifth or sixth grade when we played it a lot, and we did votes. It's like, oh, okay, so how many kids want to play this over here? It's like, how many kids want to play Dodge Basketball? Yay! It's like, okay, we're playing Dodge Basketball again for like the 20th week in a row. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. We had a blast. I got pelted in the face one time by one kid, and I went out, and as I was walking out, he threw another ball and hit me again. And he started laughing, and then all of a sudden the coach just like points at him and tells him to get out. And he's just like, what? I got him out. It should be him going out. He's like, he was already out. You already knocked him out, and you wanted to hit him again, so you were being a jerk. Get off the floor. And then that was that. And gosh, man. And then we got back out there. He tried to do it again, and then I got him back, and then I was like, ha, revenge. But yeah. Kids, we all do dumb shit. Anyway, Jake's almost here, so I guess we better get ready for him. So thank y'all very much for tuning in, and I guess until next time, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
See you then, everybody. Peace out.